All right. Hello there. I don't know how to start these things most of the time without, I guess, acting like I'm talking to someone or someone's. So, forgive me, because I don't even know if that's going to go out. I don't even know exactly what I'm going to talk about. I don't really know for sure. But I do know that I wanted to do this. And there are some things that one of my therapists I used to know, that I used to see instilled in me that have greatly affected me, that I still think of to this day, that I think have been truly helpful. And one of the things he used to say to me, Mr. Sprinkle, David Sprinkle, is that if you want to do it, Doug, like if you have a desire to do it, why don't you just do it? He had this curiosity in his voice and this question to me about it. Because most of the time, the things I want to do, they're not bad things. They're not like heinous atrocities that'll bring about calamity upon the world and destruction to my abode or whatever. They're just like this video. I wanted to use my DJI Osmo Pocket 3 to make a video recording of me talking about something. I just wanted to be part of the process where I get out my little tripod for it, and I hook it up and I get it situated up high enough to see me well, and I put on the mic and I get things going so that I can talk and I just talk, and I wanted to do that, and at the same time my brain was doing things it tends to do, and it was saying, well, Douglas, you don't have anything to talk about. You've got nothing. Whatever you would say would be worthless, if not utterly worthless. You don't need to get out your Osmo Pocket 3, and you don't need to record, because anything you could possibly say, which you have no clue what is, would therefore subsequently be so worthless that even the digital space the file takes up in the invisible ether of a computer world would have a mass to it that would equate worthlessness. It would be a useless waste of space, even though it doesn't even take up physical, tangible space in any of my existence. It'd be that bad. My mind was saying that. And that is what my mind does. That is me hating myself. That is me against myself, thinking I don't need to be cared for. I don't need to be loved, and I don't need to show myself that I have worth and value, because I don't, and it doesn't matter that I try, because I will fail. I can't succeed at that. And as God would have it, as I have been loved into showing and knowing, it's not true. It's not true. Let me tell you, the part of my mind that is being transformed because it is renewed by the Spirit of God understands better now, and more than it has ever before, that the most perfect and pleasing will of God, in accordance with that verse, Romans, being transformed by the renewing of my mind to know, so that we may know what the perfect, most pleasing will of God is. The most perfect and pleasing will of God, at least in a sense for me, is that I care about who I am. I love who I am. And I don't mean the way I feed myself so much I'm overweight. I don't mean the way that I sit around too long at work because, I want to enjoy something that I need to be working instead of lazing about. I don't mean the way I spend my money to buy the things I want. These are things that I quote unquote love myself by doing. But in a very real visceral sense, they bring about my downfall. Now, loving myself looks like this right now. It looks like what I'm doing right now. Instead of going with the thought, no, you're not gonna record this video. You're not gonna get out your stuff because it's not worth it. You're not worth it. You don't need to waste the space and time. Instead of going with that and maybe just going to bed or watching something on TubeView, instead of doing that, what my mind said, I said, no. There's nothing wrong with your desire to want to do this. There's nothing wrong with what you want. You're not being evil. You're not doing sin by making this video. And what a simple desire. I mean, seriously, like, I'm like a little kid, a little boy. I just want to go around with my camcorder and start recording things. I did that when I was a kid too. Like, it's like, there is really nothing intrinsically wrong with my desire. I could do wrong with it, but that's not my intent. That's not my goal. And the beautiful thing about what David Sprinkle said to me is that you just do what you want to do. It's because it implies another ethos or method of what he taught me that I remember. So the other thing and the big thing is just he said to me one time, it sounds like Doug just doesn't trust Doug very much at all. At the time I had to think about it because I'm like, what do you mean I'm getting grumpy and talking about other parts of myself right there. But as I've lived and I've breathed and I've grown and I've matured, I understand far more now than I have ever known before that he had a most excellent point. Most excellent. Because here's the thing. Even if I believe to some degree, which I'm not professing I do or don't, but I know that this is a stance some people take. Even if I believed I was just completely, utterly worthless in sin, that I was nothing but a sinner all the way through, and that it basically defines me. Even if I believe that, I still do good things. I don't not go to work and live off the system every day. I don't beat people up and steal their lunch money. You know, I'm not a thief, a murderer. I'm a glutton, but I mean, these are like gluttony and things like that. They're socially acceptable sins, so let's not go there. I digress on that. But the thing is, I'm trying to say, even if I mess up, even if I said right now, no, you're going to do what you want. You're going to put this video to use, and you're going to use this stuff you bought to do your thing. And I put it online, and it became this trash heap of insipid worthlessness that made people retch and see the vileness of myself and hate life and breath and want to end it all. Like, even if that happened, I can still repent. I can still 180. I can still ask for forgiveness. I can still seek restitution, find reconciliation. I can, because I make a mistake doesn't mean my world ends. And the beautiful thing about me, one of the things I'm learning, so I really don't want to do the wrong thing. I don't want to do the bad thing. I don't want to do evil. I don't want to lie and steal and connive, and these are not my goals or my intentions. It's a beautiful thing because it's an underlying reality in my being. So one of the ways David got to me, and he showed me, like, Doug, look, like, even if you do something wrong, was your intent to do wrong? Was your intent to sin? Because if your intent wasn't to do sin, and maybe you do sin anyway, you can know that you meant good. that your intent was not for that. You don't have to put yourself down. You don't have to berate yourself. You don't have to demonstratize or you don't have to demean and belittle who you are because you made a mistake that led to sin. I don't have to do that. And so I suppose all this to say, I'm not doing anything wrong by recording this video. I didn't have any wrong or ill intent in making this video. There was nothing inherently evil about it. And if something does come of it that may be stressful or that may hurt or cause pain, it wasn't my intention. And should I post this, you can message me and say, hey, we can have a dialogue. My channel is Eunoia with Doug, and it's not because I just want to talk at you. I want to talk with you. I want to talk with people. I love people. I don't always do the best because I am one of them. But I try. I try. I do. And although I can find ways to invalidate all my meaning and prove to be the best of hypocrites. How's that for paradox? I don't stay there. That's not my boo. You know, it's not my abode. It's not my forte. I forget the guy who did it, but he said, one of my Instagram follows, he said, no. You don't get to ruin my day. He said, no, you don't get to ruin my day. You don't make my day. You don't ruin my day. I set the standard for my day. And you're not the boss of that. I'm forgetting exactly how he said it, but that was the general intent of it. It's like he had a whole story to go with that was really quite touching. And the point he also made was that he was given a gift, a generous gift of life and breath and love therein. And the person who was trying to ruin his day, he did a 180 on him. He basically got some waiter who was and trying to make a point, did a bad job, but he then bought another thing, gave him a $10 tip. You know, the tip he didn't deserve for the mediocre work he did, as he said. And he said his attitude changed real quick. And he's bringing me out that premium chicken dinners. Like, oh, you got those in the back? Where do you get those? And his point was like, he was trying to make a point, and it was not a point that was he was going to ruin his day. And because he didn't need to give him that $10, but he did. And it wasn't to prove he's balling or whatever, like you said. It was to show that he's been given a gift. And we're not called to be stingy with our gifts. We're called to give freely. And that's hard. It can be really hard. And I don't have a lot. I mean, in some sense. I'm still in the richest nation of the world, of course, like here in America, where I have a house full of things I don't deserve and that I bought with money I may or may not have, through work I may or may not have done. I've got so many things, it's unreal, but the things don't save me. They don't make me saved. That's the work of God. And I guess I'm kind of prayerful that I can be an encouragement, because I know I do that. Like people, I've seen it in people. I tell them things, or I say a thing, or I speak a place, or whatever. And people tell me God is so good to have his children, even the mouth of infants young, as it says in Psalm 8, like they in the power of praise compose. And God shows me, he gives me gifts. He loves me through people's affirmations sometimes. So I'm yammering on. I think I've decided I'm going to post this. I think I may have touched on something. And considering the length, it probably won't get a lot of views. I don't know who's going to sit through all this, but I should start pointing this out. Like, when you're in YouTube, you can go into the settings in the video and you can change the playback speed. And I don't know about you, but my mind is able to process things usually faster than a person speaks and does things. Which concurrently means when you go into settings, you can change the playback speed from 1, which is normal, to 1.25, which is just a smidge faster. You can even go to 1.5, which sometimes it's a little hard for me. But 1.25 is like a way to speed things up. So you can hear coherently, but also like not have all those inordinate pauses of unnecessariness. How's that for slow? Anyway, yeah, I feel good about this. I'm gonna stop here, and I wish you all the best. And I'm gonna get to editing. You guys take care. Bye bye.